Yo. Hey. What's good, Josh Rush, man? And today we're back at again with another video. This is going to be us getting in a little bit, just a little bit, as we try to do this quietly. A little bit of a review of what we saw on SmackDown. You know, I'm not gonna be screaming. I thought I was gonna be screaming Hall of Fame, but I think it's happening right now. I don't know, maybe I'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll try to stream, maybe. But anyway, maybe at least for Triple H's part, I might do that. But anyway, recording this video as I think it's happening right now. But anyway, just wanted to say a couple of things that happened on SmackDown, man. Top of the show, yeah, the show wasn't. Well, I guess I'll go off for what I thought of the show, but just to say, the top of the show was basically Seth Rollins coming out. And this was when Cena was advertised and stuff like that. So you didn't start with Cena this time. You know, all the times we got Cena advertised, we didn't start with him. But this time we actually did get it to start with John Cena. And what we got was, or this time we didn't get it to start with John Cena. What we got was Seth Rollins starting off the show. And the crowd was doing his sing along. They did the Seth freaking Rollins. They did the Friday Night Rollins, or whatever the case may be that he likes to get them chant. They did the little song, the whoa, 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 whoa. Then they started chanting CM Punk. It's just Seth cannot catch a break. But then they started chanting CM Punk. I think they chanted CM Punk and then Seth sat, did the infamous Punk sit down with the crisscross applesauce or Indian style, sitting in the center of the ring. With the mic in hand to mock Punk and stuff like that. And then they started chanting OTC, Roman Reigns' original tribal chief. They started chanting OTC. And then Seth basically, like I said, you're going to have to go back and watch all this. I mean, it's all on WWE's YouTube, I'm sure by now. But I'm just giving a quick breakdown. I'm not trying to, get everything verbatim. But basically, just to give you the gist, that's what I'm here to do. To give you the gist. The gist of it was that Seth was basically saying that CM Punk, when he came back to professional wrestling, he didn't come back to a WWE ring, which is true. He did not come back to WWE. He came back to a different wrestling promotion. You know what I'm saying? WWE's pretty much main competition. He came back there because they gave him a big fat check, a buttload of money, basically, you know what I'm saying? And then when he burned bridges just like he always does, this is Seth's words, not mine. When he burns bridges just like he always did, he came here for the exact same thing, a big fat check, and basically saying CM Punk did not come back for you people. He came back for the money. So he don't basically really love you like that, despite, you cheering his name for 10 years. He don't really basically love the fans like that. He just really came here to make some dollars. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he started off. And the fans are still chanting CM Punk, and I just want y'all to understand, the takeaway from this is like, Seth has been pretty much telling the truth. He's been doing great in this as far as giving the history lesson and giving the storytelling. But here's the thing, no matter how much of the truth that Seth is spitting, the fans have already made up their minds that they freaking want to see, they want to see Punk. You know what I'm saying? They want to see CM. They want to see Punk, and they love him. They love the energy and the personality that he brings to the table, the entertainment he brings to the table. So no matter how much like legit, pretty much good truth and just no cap in Seth's rap, no matter how much of the truth he was telling about how he's like, or if there's truth to that, no matter how much he is saying it, the fans still cheer for him. The fans still like CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, he was like basically saying, he addressed, basically started off by addressing CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I said, telling the truth about he's really only there for the money. He's not there for the fans for real like that. So even though it took him 10 years to come back, it's because of the money, basically. He didn't come back for y'all. Anyway, then he said about Roman Reigns, he said, at least with Roman Reigns, say what you want about him, and they chanted OTC. So basically every time he mentioned someone's name, they chanted their signature, either their name or their character, nickname, or whatever you want to say. But anyway, so yeah, they're all really freaking over. So they started, so when he said Roman, he's like, say what you want about Roman, but he doesn't even pretend to care about you people. Like, he knows that he don't care about y'all like that. He wants the money. He wants the private jets. He wants the big houses. He wants to be able to sit on his couch. He wants to be able to come back to the WWE when it's convenient for him. He wants to pick and choose when he wants to show up to work, pick and choose what matches he has, when it fits him, you know what I'm saying, at the right time and stuff like that. And basically him saying about Roman Reigns that I'm trying to see if he mentioned anything else about Roman Reigns. Yeah, I think he pretty much did say that. Like he comes basically for the he comes basically for the big payday, and he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't really care about you guys, and he's basically hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? And the fans still chanted Rome. I think I don't know if they did OTC again or if they did Roman Reigns. I don't know which one they did, but it's just one of those situations where the bulk of this, and Seth basically ended up saying like this match is for like the betterment of the future of WWE, and it belongs in somebody's hands like me who put in the grind time, basically put in the grind time work and effort, like we say on this channel, put in the grind time work and effort, and basically put his body on the line, put his health on the line. And unlike CM Punk and unlike Roman, he has stayed in this company. Like he ain't gone on no part-time schedule or he ain't left the company. He's been there through thick and thin. And, he was saying that I even ensured that Roman Reigns lost his championship last year to Cody Rhodes, despite the fact that I think he said his stepdad had cancer, which I did not know that. That is freaking crazy. But Seth said, but regardless of the fact that, his stepdad had cancer around that time for WrestleMania 40, he still stayed in the WWE to make sure that Roman did not retain that championship. So basically Seth is saying, like, you should trust more in him because he's there. Like he's there. He truly does love the fans, truly does love this business because he's there all the time and he hasn't left and he hasn't taken a part-time schedule or anything like that. So and the fans were like, thank you, Rollins, you know what I'm saying? So they gave him that chant. And basically him saying that he's the betterment of the future and that they're fighting, like he said, for I guess you say for the soul of the industry and whatnot. And basically he will make sure that he wins this match and that the future of the industry is in the right hands, which is in his hands. So, and then he used the Paul Heyman line. That is not a prediction. That is a spoiler. So Seth has been doing freaking fantastic, man. Like in this whole feud, I think he's probably done the best in this whole feud. Cause not only is this like probably the most mic time we've seen Seth Rollins get, but this is also the most serious he's been. Like he even didn't come out in a really goofy outfit. Like I think it was like a little bit of Versace-esque type of suit. So he didn't even come out wearing anything really over the top and goofy. You know what I'm saying? So some people say, well, maybe because Rock was known for wearing his Versace, they could see maybe Seth Rollins because he points out so much truth and how he's not letting all this history slide just because the fans want to cheer for Roman Reigns, who is arrogant and cocky, but for and doesn't really care about the fans like that. But somehow they like him for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's that weird dynamic there. But some people saying maybe Seth because he doesn't neglect the truth and he's calling out basically these guys that the fans like and calling them out for all of their negativity that they bring to the table and how just basically how they don't really care about the fans like that, but he really does, and despite that the fans still cheer for these people. And the fact that he's not letting that go underneath the fact that he's not letting that slide, basically that's honestly more of a heelish thing to do, like to basically try to get the crowd to turn on the people that they like. So some people are saying maybe he joins The Rock in his group because Seth has been a sellout before, funny enough, 10 years ago, when he was having when he was running as the WWE champion in 2015 as the pretty much the corporate WWE champion when he sold out to Triple H and the corporate and the Authority, I should say, the Authority at the time. So when he was the champion aligned with the Authority with Triple H and Stephanie and J&J Security and all that stuff like that. Funny enough, that was the case 10 years ago. So could we see him sell his soul to The Rock, man? Maybe he could be another member for The Rock because unlike Cena, and even though we got more dates for Cena that are way more consistent after WrestleMania, Seth is a full-time wrestler, so maybe that's somebody aligned with The Rock that we can actually see on multiple occasions. You know what I'm saying? Which I wouldn't be against that at all because I feel like Seth is better as a heel anyway. And if this makes him more serious and makes him tell great stories like how he's been doing, I'm all for that, man. This is the best version of Seth. But other things that was good, the way to start the show. Other things on the show, LA Knight basically cut a promo saying that we know how dangerous Jacob Fatu is and we know he'll win a championship, but basically he's gonna eat a BFT at WrestleMania. I took out Tama, which he did when the show first started. LA Knight did. I think he slammed the door on Tama's arm or something, like the car door, and then he said, and then a match got set up with him and Solo. I'm gonna take him out, and then at WrestleMania I'm taking out Jacob Fatu. And here's the thing, we know Jacob Fatu is dangerous, but he thinks that basically that he doesn't know. I don't know what I'm dealing with going up against him. Nah. Jacob Fatu doesn't know or has never, I think it was has never been in the ring with anybody like me. So, flipping the tables there. But that was a good promo there. And then Solo and LA Knight took place, but then it got interrupted by Jacob Fatu, and then Strowman came to save the day, and then Nick Aldis came out there and made it a tag team match, and so we ended up getting a tag team match. Another thing that happened on the show was trying to think of just any notable things. Street Profits had a tag match for the titles against MCMG, Motor City Machine Guns, and got interrupted by DIY Ciampa and Gargano, and they ended up arguing backstage, and so that match got canceled by way of DIY getting interfered in the match, calling the DQ. They all got an argument. All three teams got an argument backstage. Nick Aldis then made a TLC match for next week on SmackDown, which one could say that they probably, arguably, since they've not that they've had a lot of verbiage, but since this feud, or since these teams have had a little more of a feud than the War Raiders and the New Day, one would say that this TLC match would have perfectly fit WrestleMania, right? Give one WrestleMania night of match where basically anything goes, and then get another match like how they have in Damian and Drew, another night that has a anything goes match. So I could see that, but my only thing that's keeping me staying with the New Day, even though they haven't really built up New Day and War Raiders, is the fact that New Day had a massive heel turn late last year. So it would have been kind of wild if they're not on WrestleMania the following year, even though they haven't followed up on it as far as storytelling is concerned. But anyway, other things that happened on the show, Rhea Ripley came out there. The crowd loved her. Then Io came out there. They gave her a nice pop. Great to see Io get her respect. And Bianca came out there before Io could get a word out. And Rhea at first was just saying like how basically she's going to be a champion. Wasn't anything over the top. And Bianca came out there, and every time she tried to speak, the crowd booed. Now, not Charlotte Flair level boos that they gave her when she had that segment with Tiffany, but they were booing and you could hear it. And man, it was wild. And basically, the crowd is kind of weird because, again, Bianca's almost like in the Seth position where, like, okay, she's telling the truth. Like, she did earn this spot. Rhea did lose her championship. Like, it should just be Bianca versus Io because, Io beat Rhea Ripley for her championship, and Rhea basically mommied her way into the match and basically whined and complained a bunch of times until Pierce had enough of it and added her to the match. So even though she doesn't deserve it, the crowd still is pro. I think they just love Rhea so much, and she's a little newer than Bianca Belair as far as like newly popular. She's more new than Bianca. So yeah, even though Bianca has a great point that she freaking earned it by winning the Elimination Chamber, they still, for whatever reason, like I said, I think they just love Rhea too much. So they're still. So even in the States, because it was happening overseas in Europe, but now we've seen it on American soil that they're getting booed, that she's getting booed as well. So Bianca heel turn, I would not mind that at all. We haven't seen her as a heel on the main roster. I saw a little bit of it in NXT, and it looked freaking promising. So that could be fun. And then I think Naomi came out there. She tried to say a couple of things to Bianca, and basically it made it look like Rhea and Io were basically irrelevant because it was like basically it was getting crowded in the ring, and yeah. Then Jade came out there, attacked Naomi, or I don't think she actually got a hold of her, but yeah, that was a little segment that ended with Io basically doing a moonsault on top of everybody on the outside. So wasn't anything crazy. Another side note here is Carmelo Hayes. Good to see Carmelo Hayes, somebody that should be built up for the future. I'm always one of those people that's like, even if he's not the greatest on the microphone or if he's not captivating the world, he should at least be consistently put on television to get himself over. Or if he sucks, let him continue to suck on the microphone. Pause. Continue to let him be, if he's bad on the mic or whatever, let him be bad on the mic on a weekly basis to see if it gets over, because everybody's got to start somewhere. So I'm glad he got a big win here. Carmelo Hayes did win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Even though those matches don't mean a whole lot, it's a big win to some degree because they have had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Even though it's really a match where just a Battle Royal where everyone who didn't make it to WrestleMania basically partake in. But good to see Carmelo Hayes get a notable, or I guess you could say somewhat notable win of sorts, So hopefully they can do something with him after that and we build him up as the future like how they're doing with Jacob and Braun Breaker. Anyway, another quick side note was Rey Mysterio got injured, or allegedly, we don't know for sure, but he was basically limping out of the ring, and it was like, personnel helping him out of the ring or helping him get back to, the back as they were going up the rampway. So hopefully Rey Mysterio can still wrestle. because we already, have Kevin Owens who had to pull out because of his neck injury. Hopefully, Rey Mysterio didn't get an injury. And I agree with what somebody said. I don't even know why it was necessary for Rey Mysterio to even wrestle, knowing he has a match like tomorrow, WrestleMania weekend. So that was kind of weird to have him wrestle anyway. But anyway, let's get to the meat of the matter. What everybody came to see, what's going to probably be in the title of this video, and that is Cena and Cody. So Cena basically said that I'm looking at a website here to see some of the lines just in case I miss anything. So Cena continues his story of he's going to be the last real champion in the WWE, and he basically said that this is going to be like his last ever WrestleMania. And what I love that he pointed out here was he said that there's never truly a retirement in wrestling. Like there's always one more match, even if you say you retired, right? There's always one more match and people come out of retirement and whatnot. The reason why there's never been a legitimate retirement in pro wrestling, and the reason why no one's ever done it like how Cena's done it, where you're announcing that, hey, this is my last year of competing in the ring. The reason why there's never been a real retirement and people constantly come back is because they basically are poor and they're, what was it? It was like they're like poor, insecure, and like pathetic, and it's some words like that. Any demeaning word you could think of. They basically are pathetic losers who don't have anything else to do, basically. Like they don't have anything else that gives them joy. They don't have anything else that makes them feel important. And John Cena says, on the other hand, that like because he's in Hollywood, I have other stuff past wrestling to make me feel good and that I do well and I'm good at it and stuff like that. Like I don't need these people. You know what I'm saying? So that was his whole thing, was that he doesn't need these people, and how Cody Rhodes turned up an opportunity of a lifetime by The Rock by saying what he said, which was go fuck yourself. He passed up an opportunity of a lifetime, and John Cena said, after what you said to The Rock, it made it to where like I knew for sure at that point I was beating you at WrestleMania, because Rock gave you an opportunity of a lifetime to either do what the people think is right, or win, or be a winner, like win matches. Like don't just do what the people justify or have they've made up their own truth that is right, but go out there and just win. Like who cares what these people think? You don't need these people. You go out there and you just win. And basically him saying that that's what made him know for sure that he was going to beat Cody at WrestleMania, is when he basically put what these people think over just going out there and winning. You know what I'm saying? So Cena basically said, like he said before, that he's going to walk out as the real champion, and that Cody is basically too weak to understand that, it's all about winning when you want to stay as the champion. And how even after WrestleMania 40, he told him he didn't pat his back like everybody else did and give him praise. He said that championship gets heavier and heavier every day that you hold it. And Cena said, and at WrestleMania, you basically won't be able to hold that championship anymore. It'll be too heavy for you to basically uphold and stuff like that. So then after that, and Cena saying he's going to win record breaking number 17 and everything, then when Cody tried to speak, the crowd started booing. Again, they were booing like audibly, but it wasn't like over the top, but like you could hear audibly the crowd booing as Cody was talking. So as Cody was talking, they were booing, and I'm like, I guess this crowd might have been pro Cena, or like my theory is, we understand how the business works and stuff like that. I think they probably find Cena a bit cool as a heel, and because of that, and because of the fact that Cena no doubt was right about what he said about how these fans like constantly change their minds and they don't really matter and stuff like that, I think the fans just really want to see, because it's Cena's last year and because he has the chance to break the record for most world title wins. I think those things combined is why they probably started booing Cody for a second here, because I think deep down in the bottom of everybody's soul, they want Cena to break the world title streak, or world title. They want him to win record breaking number 17. Like everybody wants that to happen, and it adds a little more sentimental value when you know this is his last year to do it. So I truly think that's probably why they booed him. But yeah, this is the first time we've gotten heel John Cena at like the top, as a top guy. The first time we've gotten heel John Cena as a top guy in the States. So this crowd in Las Vegas, which is obviously where WrestleMania is going to be at tomorrow and the entire weekend, I think they were a little pro Cena, but Cody was actually able to turn the crowd back around, because Cody said that basically that you called me I think it was like Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the crowd started booing Cody, and then Cena was like, "This is who you fight for," like basically pointing out the fact that they just booed him and whatever. And then Cody basically, he started just going in on Cena. Like, and then I forgot what led to him saying what he said, but then he called him. He said basically, he said that you said because Cena did say that he's been underwhelming and whatnot, and then Cody was like, "You say I'm underwhelming, and well, I think you're overrated," which was like, okay, that was a freaking good line. And then he said, "You're overrated, overbearing, uh, you're an overbearing wrestler who is paler than Sting at Starrcade '97." I'm like, God, dog, okay. Cody started going in. Then I think he said his face was like a. I think he said his. I think he compared his face to like your face is like a melting. It was like your face is like a melting candle. You got a stack of dimes for neck, and I think he said like scrawny legs or something like that. And then the big line I remember him saying was that you want to base because in the promo that they did in that face to face, the when they had their first face to face promo, Cena said that Cody was just his errand boy, right? Cena said that, Cody, you're just my errand boy, and Cody said, you want to call me a errand boy, but yet you are the guy who freaking walked out butt naked at the Oscars for the Hollywood, for basically the people you work for now, and like basically you are, I guess you could say, the Hollywood agents and stuff like that. You're their errand boy, and you went out there basically butt naked on the Oscars, and you're just the errand boy for the Hollywood folks nowadays. So that was a freaking great line. Him saying like, you gonna basically call me an errand boy, but yet you just walked out butt naked on the Oscars for the people you run errands for nowadays, which is, the Hollywood folks and stuff like that, which was a great freaking line that I was actually wondering if him being naked at the Oscars, I wondered if that line was ever going to get brought up by somebody during this retirement tour, like a couple of days ago, when I had thought of like that as ammunition, and God done it, Cody used it. So, yeah, but anyway, the segment ended with Cody saying that it's 2020, you're out of touch, and in 2025 you still can't wrestle. And then I think Cena responded, and then the crowd cheered Cody again. Right, so it's just these big old bastards just literally proved Cena's point in the promo he just freaking cut on the same night, in like literally minutes before that. But anyway, how they switched up like that. But then they started chanting the Cody Rhodes, and then Cena said, I think he's like, I don't have to be able to wrestle. Like, I won't have to wrestle or something like that. Or yeah, he said something like that. And then he did like a bop on the Cody's head. I don't know if it was like a flick to his forehead or like a push to his forehead or something. Cause like it was basically like Cody reacted like how you would maybe if somebody like poked you in the eye, but I don't know what Cena did. He just freaking palmed him in the head or whatever, and went for the attitude adjustment. And then when he went to deliver it, Cody got off his back, countered it into the crossroads. So we hit Cena with a second crossroads in their first face to face. He ended it crossroading John Cena, and then he hit a crossroads on him again. So that makes me think for sure that Cena is winning, because they've had Cody get the upper hand twice on him now anytime they've had physical contact. So this leads me to believe like there's no doubt that Cena is freaking winning, which he should. World title number 17 at WrestleMania as a heel, man. They can get a lot of good stuff out of this heel run, and I just hope it goes well, man. I just hope it goes well. The heel run goes well, and that everything, and hopefully just all is just fun, because WrestleMania build, for Roman Punk and Seth, who had a great promo package, by the way. I forgot the song they used, but it was a nice song that they used, and just a great promo package. Watch it for yourself. And yeah, it's just a great build, or I should say the main events for WrestleMania have been pretty good build. Maybe if Cena showed up maybe one more time, but, and some people were saying like, they finally, mentioned The Rock in this, and they finally kind of tied it in a little more. And then some people think that that's still not enough for The Rock to have been involved in the heel turn, all in the air. I think Rock being involved in this is fine. Yeah, you could say it wasn't needed. There's no doubt about that. It wasn't needed. But I think him being a part of it is fine. I just think on TV they could have gotten it a little more over. They could have told the story a little more as to why Rock was the catalyst for Cena's heel turn, but they didn't do that, So I'm not one of these people that think, oh, Rock had to show up, because we knew that was probably unlikely. I mean, he'll probably show up at WrestleMania. Stone Cold is also on WrestleMania, so you never know. But anyway, I don't know if this crowd is gonna boo Cody in Las Vegas. I think, like I said, everybody just wants to see Cena win the world breaking world title, and then on top of that, it's his last year to do it. So either way, this should be fun. The SmackDown wasn't all that great. I gave it like a 6 or 6.5 because the main event, fun little segment, interesting for the first time and since Cody's been back in WWE, them booing him. That it was freaking crazy, and then they switched up and cheered him again. It was weird, bro. But anyway, show started good with Seth, and I thought the show closed good, and some stuff in between wasn't really all that, didn't really matter all that much. And for a go home show, it probably, like, if it was a normal show, then it probably would have been pretty good. But for a go home show, this was like, you know what I'm saying? For a go home show, like, it wasn't like giving go home show vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, except for maybe like the last segment, it wasn't really giving go home show vibes. You know, and even then, Seth was the only person there for Roman Punk and Seth triple threat. He's the only one there to freaking sell the match. But he did good. But anyway, love and appreciate you guys. You can go check out my predictions. I already made my predictions, but at the end of the day, we're gonna say it is what it is, and what it's gonna be is this project continue to come out with the kinds of vicious bangers over and over again for you guys, doing my thing and doing it well. And I shall see y'all tomorrow because we will be streaming WrestleMania. I hope I got that statement out enough. I will be streaming WrestleMania. Repeat one more time. I will be streaming WrestleMania both nights. And I will be posting clips to my actual Instagram that I have right here. Except it has I'm gonna be actually posting my clips on it's the same name. Like, I made an Instagram that it's the same name as you see here, but it's a different account that has a no faced profile. It has like a underscore after DJ is a Prodigy. If there's an underscore after it, that's where I'm gonna be posting all my clips and stuff like that, just to keep it separate from my personal Instagram and stuff like that. But either way, love and appreciate you guys. Follow all the socials down below, and like I said, I'm gonna be posting the clips on the same name except there's an underscore after it. After this DJ's Project, there will be an underscore, and that's going to be the account I'm posting all the clips on, just in case you miss it. But anyway, love and appreciate you guys. We're going to do our thing and do it well. Keep grinding, posting these clips for the first time, like streaming and posting the clips as I'm streaming and stuff like that. So that'll be a first time thing. But either way, like, comment, and subscribe, share with your friends before you go. That is the vibe. That DJ's